There they go into the back. The blue light on. We have a race, and Satnova's beaten Pure Steel out by a length and a half.
Welcome to Talking Trots, hosted by Morts and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
The sensational Sydney sider, Seals to Sam, comes off the back straight. He's a bucket load of alliteration, this fellow.
Scott Bomber Hill will join the boys to look at the Friday night meeting at Gloucester Park.
Here comes Quinny. I'm the mighty Queen is 4 deep and letting go.
Sit back and enjoy Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley.
I'm the mighty Queen is just in front. Dasher VC can do no more. And the West Australian champion has done it again.
Yes, hello and welcome to another big edition of Talking Trots. And this week, what a race. The 3-year-old Dainty's Daughter Classic, Group 3 level, $50,000. What a race it's assembled. The favourite Waterloo. They put up 220 about her, straight into 165, the champion filly. And she's got to do it from the outside, but she's certainly good enough. And what a race it's going to be this Friday night, the Dainty's Daughter. Also, the Kersley. We get to see the return of Gary Hall Snr's Golden Nugget contenders in Mr. Smarty and Sky Lou, and they're going to do battle. And even we're going to talk to Gary Hall Snr a little bit later on, and we might even hear that he's aiming for a pacing cup with Mr. Smarty. But a big night of racing coming up at Gloucester Park, and a big hello to Glen Mortimer. Morts, welcome to the program.
Welcome back, Michael.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
Yeah, it's great to have you back, I tell you what. Didn't appreciate sitting on that side of the table, throwing the breaks and lead-ins and lead-outs. Thank goodness I had Bray here with me, kept me on track, and our special thanks to Silky Glen Moore for filling in whilst you were away. Did a great job as always. Yeah, no, he certainly did. Well, it was a chop out for our man Bomber Hill last Friday night, but Ollie found us a winner at Wagen and a winner at Bunbury. And as you said, Michael, we've got a big card to talk about this week, and you touched on that. We've got the Kersley, the 3-year-old Dainty's Daughter Classic, and two very special races, the Vale Graham McNeice free
a really good race. And,
of course, the Vale Terry Radley pace. And our condolences to you and the family, Michael.
Yeah, thank you, Morts, and thank you for the team of the race name. I know my family was really grateful, and I think the topical tip for everyone is Waratah Lou. Dad played grade rugby league for Waratah in the Newcastle Rugby League comp, and we all played juniors with Waratah. So I think it's about 280 on Tab Touch at the moment, Waratah Lou, but I'm tipping plenty of people in Newcastle will be on the Jocelyn Young trained and driven Waratah Lou.
And why wouldn't you be? Jocelyn Young,
flying.
In outstanding form.
Yeah.
They are all going exceptionally well. It was a great night at GP last Friday, as always. Great front-running drive by Lauren Harper and Al Daytona to get up and score at $20. Very good drive.
Yep.
Excellent drive. It was a nice
Doesn't
field.
drive much, Lauren, but
No.
when she does, gives them every chance.
Certainly did, and that was a terrific win. Thought it was a good drive by Chris Lewis to put good fellas into the race when they were going 31. The crafty old Chris Lewis knew when to get there. Sat outside and was too strong. Sango Real, well driven out of the gate by Chris Folk. Another one in brilliant form, not only just in the gig but also training as well. So good win to Sango Real. Castella Dell'Acqua. I've got to tell you, that certainly filled my TAB account. One well driven by Jocelyn Young. Just finished too strongly for them. And Elter Tribute kept its picket fence going. Sat parked all the way for a real slogging but gutsy finish. So it was a great night last Friday night at GP. Not much to report here. We go GP last Friday night, a double to Team Bond, which is natural because Bondy was on the show.
Yeah.
Surprised it wasn't a treble or four. Double to Shannon Savelko, no surprises there, and a double to Denny Roberts. Friday night we had the other meeting, which was at Wagen, and a double there to your man Aldo Cortopassi, and a double to my man Trent Wheeler. He's in excellent form. Saturday at Bunbury, driving double to Corey Peterson and a driving double to Aidan DeCampo. And here's where it really ramps up. Monday at Pinjarra, a treble to Kyle Harper. And Tuesday at GP, 4 to Kyle Harper.
Jeez,
and a double.
Isn't he in good form?
He is. going back a couple of weeks, and we haven't spoken since then, but the drive on Ruby Lavera.
Oh. How many times you've watched it?
That is one I've watched plenty of times, purely because he drove absolutely to instruction. And I thought he was going to get caught in the breeze on the filly, but...
No, it was a great drive.
Snagged back and...
I spoke to Kyle afterwards, and he said it in the interviews as well. He was talking to Justin, and Justin was sort of giving the instructions, and he said, so you just want a JP special, do you?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, he delivered.
He certainly did. It was an absolutely cracking drive, and he's just backed that up on Monday. With
The Harper household are driving winners everywhere.
Sorry?
The Harper
They are.
household.
They are. I actually met Lauren's mum.
Jodie?
Over in Sydney a couple of weeks back. Had a good chat. So,
the representative from the Racing Queensland board, the equivalent of Bob Fowler for our board, is Jodie Jones.
Yeah, Bob was there as well, so it was a good, and yourself, of course, it was a good...
No, I've got to thank you as well, because I was over there for 3 weeks and you brought over a suitcase full of clothes, which I desperately needed, because I left in a rush. I got a call on the Monday night to say I've got to get over there, and I was on the red eye, and I don't know what I packed, but I packed 5 jumpers. Right. And I got over there, it was like 28 degrees, and there was virtually nothing else in the bag.
No, it was a beautiful, balmy, beautiful, balmy few
So
days.
I've got to thank you. You got me clothes over there, and
that's all right. I don't pack. I don't pack too many. So.
Normally, it's just the Foster's t-shirt and a pair of shorts and thongs, and you're right.
Absolutely. So we had plenty of space to bring it across there, but it was a good. Certainly was a good few days, and like I said, it was a great night at GP last Friday. And a fantastic night, and we're lucky with tonight's guest, because he's got a couple of key horses returning. He's got one very smart one there in the last, and of course, with the Pacing Cup only about 8 weeks away now, it'd be good to get an update on Wild West and Diego and a few others. So it'd be great to have a chat to the Hall of Famer, that's for sure.
Well, let's get to Gary Hall Snr on the line, but before we do, one of the horses resuming. He's got some very nice horses resuming, plus a horse that's got a debut in the last, a 2-year-old. Let's go back to Mr. Smarty, who's an exciting 4-year-old who's going to play a major part at the end of the year. The last time we saw him was back on May the 3rd. Where he went around in the Westside Autos 4 and 5 Championship. He sent out a short price favourite. Stewie McDonald was in the cart, and let's hear Mr. Smarty getting the cash over Al Capone.
Mr. Smarty's ahead away. McDonald is throwing everything at the favourite, trying to get to Sky Lord, and they've raced away from behind the Black Flash, Al Capone, and then Sky Lure around the turn on the outside. Mr. Smarty now has raced up and shot past Sky Lord, and it looked over, sprinted away, and then on the Black Flash, followed by Al Capone, but Mr. Smarty raced away. Al Capone running home strongly. Mr. Smarty in front of Al Capone and Hale St. Louis, and Mr. Smarty does it well. Big win from Al Capone, Hale St. Louis, and 4th in Sky Lure.
It was a big win. He's a very smart horse. He resumes on Friday night, and his Hall of Fame trainer joins us on the line, Gary Hall Snr. Senior, welcome to the program.
Yeah, good morning. Good afternoon, Michael and Mords. Is it morning or afternoon?
No, it is afternoon. Just open the curtains and have a look, Senior.
I'm getting a bit older, you know.
That's all right. It's almost dinner time.
Yeah, almost dinner time.
Mate, it must be good to have these horses returning to the track, and you keep on saying you got to retire, but then you keep on producing these good horses. It must be good to have them back on the track.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's just to have sit behind a couple of nice horses and that, and have them going around again. And I'm pretty high on Mr. Smarty. Junior, I haven't driven him since he's been here track work, and Junior went over to drive Never Ending, and I was lucky enough to get the steer on him that Saturday morning, and I really like what I felt. So I think he's a real good horse. I don't know how good, but he's definitely got everything you need. He's got speed, he's got strength, and he's got a reasonably good temperament. He's getting better all the time.
And he's got a very good strike rate. He was unbeaten in his last campaign. I think he had 4 starts. Last campaign he was unbeaten and won all of them very well. Drawn in the Kersley over the 2130 metres, drawn the outside in barrier 9. How far forward is he, and what can we expect from him tomorrow night, Senior?
well, everything I've got in tomorrow night's a little bit underdone. They're probably normally I go into these races with them really screwed down tight and that, but they've got a big campaign with the 4-year-old races and pacing cups and those sort of things coming up. So I haven't really got stuck into them that much, but they're working great, you know. So I think whatever they do on Friday night, they'll improve. I'm not saying that they won't go good because I think they will.
And in the same race, you've also got Sky Lou, who, as we know, collected...
Well, Senior, I was going to play the Derby replay.
And I would have...
And Mort's wouldn't have turned up next week.
No, you got to. Yeah, you can't do that. You know.
Well,
that was bad enough on the night for him. They don't keep bringing it up.
Over the last 3 or 4 years, I think I've heard the Major Martini WA Derby around about 5 or 6 times in this show. So
that was Junior's fault.
He can be a bit cruel.
He doesn't get blamed for much, but he should have got the blame for that one, surely.
So Sky Lou's drawn barrier 2. Stewie McDonald on board. Got the gate advantage over Mr. Smarty, as we said. Collected the WA Derby in very good fashion. Did win first up last time in. Out of the 2, Senior, I mean, both a little bit underdone. Which one would you be on?
I'd be on Sky Lou.
Sky Lou, okay.
For sure. I was a bit shocked that Junior decided to drive Mr. Smarty, but I think he's just looking after him and. Making sure that he stays with him at this stage. He'll probably jump off for never ending, but
so it was actually Junior's choice. Stewie's not going to partner Sky Lou through the preparation. It'll depend on what Junior thinks.
Well, Matty won the Derby on him. I'll just use whoever's available at the time, and whoever like if Junior doesn't want to drive Sky Lou, then Stewie's probably got first choice, and if Junior's driving never ending, well, there'll be Mr. Smarty and Sky Lou for Stewie to decide on. So that, it's, I don't know, it depends on what they draw and what's coming up and how they're going, I suppose. But I really like Sky Lou. I think he's a really good horse.
Yeah,
I was a bit concerned that he can't seem to come off the track and win races. I drove him the other morning and I sat him and he got home really good. But when he gets a bit wide, he gets on a knee a little bit. So I suppose that's worrying him at Gloucester Park. That's why his form's better when he draws good. So he's drawing good on Friday night, but he's got a couple of problems there. The one might hand over. I don't know. It could probably lead if it wanted to, but Sky Lou's really quick out, very quick out. And Blaze Coops is another one that could probably be a nuisance, but I still think he can lead and win.
And then, of course, in the back row, you've got Louis Dior, who
he's a good horse.
Really performed very well for Annie Belton and driven by Ryan Bell, drawn the 10 there. So if Paul Edward did hold up, would have it right behind the leader. So it could be a good test for your 2 really talented horses in Sky Lou and Mr. Smarty, and I'm sure they'll improve plenty after that race on Friday night.
And before we go to... I'm sure Mortz wants to ask you about the Atlas the Titan. The other 4-year-old you've got is On the Black Fash, who also, I'd imagine you'd be targeting the 4-year-old races. He comes up in race number 9. He's first up as well. How's he going?
Yeah, he's working really good. A couple of runs he disappointed me in last time. He went good, but a couple of runs he did disappoint me. I thought he was a bit better than that, but he's come back really good. I'm real happy with him. And obviously, after 20 metres, he's got to beat Rock Artists, and it'll probably lead and be hard to run down. But I still think he's going to go very good. He likes to stand, so and being fresh and first up and that, I think the stand might suit him.
They're a good bunch of 4-year-olds, so you must be really happy with them, and you must think that they're probably all going to get to free-for-all level. Yeah,
I do. Yeah, the three that I've got, Black Flash, Mr. Smarty and Sky Lou, I think he'll definitely get there. Captain Blythe's a pretty good horse too, but he's not as tractable as the other 3, so he might take a bit longer. But, they're very good 4-year-olds. Probably as good as I've ever had a bunch of 4-year-olds, I reckon, anyway.
Yeah, and when you look at other 4-year-olds going around...
It's a great crop, isn't it?
Yeah,
like,
fantastic.
You can throw in Never Ending and, Murray Lindor's
Throw him
horse.
in, or is he in the budge?
Well, have you been ringing the airports to make sure that he doesn't get back into Perth?
Yeah. I went over to watch him in the big race, and I was disappointed with the way the race was run. I think it was just didn't suit him at all,
Yeah.
And Junior wasn't very happy with himself, but I don't know what he could have done if he'd have gone down the back. Well, I thought he might have tried to get somebody to come out in front of him down the backstrack when they were going so slow, but I don't think he could have been in it anyway. The times they can run up the front when they haven't worked at Menangle, it's impossible to run them down. So it was disappointing for everyone concerned, but I'm sure he'll bounce back.
Yeah, it's been a great crop all the way through, from a 2-year-old to 3-year-old and now into the 4-year-old. The 4-year-old races are just going to be so good, aren't they?
Oh, they're going to be fantastic this year. It's a really good crop. Barrier draws are going to be very important.
And then we finish up with the Retrovision Golden Nugget.
That's right.
Nugget being the big one there for the 4-year-olds in December. So when you look at the colour of those horses.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be hard to get into the actual race.
Yeah, it probably will.
Yeah.
It's going to be some real good horses. Like Louis Dior is also beaten Never Ending at one stage there, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
So, you can't count him out either, and Sweet Lou's doing a great job. But I'm sort of leaning towards trying to set Mr. Smarty for the Pacing Cup this year.
Okay.
And might miss one or two of the 4-year-olds because I've got the other ones in there. That's what I'm thinking anyway. But I think he's definitely up to it. That's my opinion.
Well, you may as well, if you're going to miss one or two of the 4-year-old races, you may as well miss them all.
You reckon?
No, look, you do have three very smart 4-year-olds there that will definitely make their way through to the Retrovision Golden Nugget, that's for sure. When you look at On the Black Flash, first up, gives Rock Artist 20 metres, but a couple of starts back before a spell did beat Sky Lou and Karana, so some pretty good form there. As you said, likes a stand, so it's just whether he's forward enough on Friday night to get the job done.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to him last year. He went a couple of really good races, and then I was disappointed with him a couple of times. So I don't know. He's a little horse, and he doesn't do well after a run. He doesn't eat that well, but he still looks well. So I'm just hoping that he can mature a bit and come out and show what he can really do. I think he's not far behind the other two anyway. So anyway, we'll see what happens.
And then in race 8, we've got Atlas the Titan, who can't seem to get a good draw. Been racing in much better company than what he is on Friday night, and apologies to the owners of the horse in that race, but has been racing in much better company, just can't seem to get a draw. Out there in Barrier 7, where to from out there in Barrier 7, Senior?
Well, you say he can't get a draw, but I don't think he could take advantage of it, Glenn. He's just sort of doesn't have a lot of gate speed, and he can work his way forward. But I suppose it's a winnable race, but I think, when he goes out and comes back a bit more mature, he'll be a better horse. He's quite strong. He lacks a bit of, he lacks gate speed. That's his big problem. And he's quite tough. I think he sat outside Prince of Pain at Pinjarra one day, and they went quick time, and he beat him. He won down there in 54 and something. So he's got ability, and I think he can win that race, but I wouldn't put my hard earned on him.
Well, he's $1.45 into $1.40 on Tab Touch. So
sounds like you've already put it on, Senior.
so someone thinks he'll win, Senior.
If I back him, he wouldn't win for sure. I can stop anything. So I'm not backing him, but I think he can win. Yeah, he's quite an honest little horse, and he's definitely a trier. He's not. He's got a fair bit of stamina, so I think that's a winnable race for him.
And in the last, you've got one that, like Michael, went back and had a look at the replays from New Zealand, and we're talking about Cyclone Geordie, and I looked at his form and saw a 5 there, and when you look at the 5, poor thing even got held up going up the sprint lane. It just couldn't get a run anywhere first up.
probably should have won all his races, actually.
Yeah.
First up when he ran 50, he went the line bolting.
Yeah.
Then he won 2, and then they gave him a bit of a rest, and he came back, and they reckon he wasn't ready for the race in the heat of the young guns, and he ran second. And I know David Butcher drives quiet, but he really drove him quiet that night.
Oh, certainly did.
I don't think he wanted to knock him around too much, but and they came out in the final, and there was an avalanche of money for him, and he won pretty easy, I reckon. So I don't know how to line those horses up with our 2-year-olds, but I think he's pretty smart. I haven't driven him again. I'm not allowed to drive him. Junior's I haven't been able to get him off, but he seems to be going pretty good.
I'll tell you what.
He's obviously, I've rushed him a bit to get him in the Golden Slipper because he came over here only about 6 weeks ago. So I'm hoping that he's going to be forward enough on Friday night to win.
He's probably as well a credentialed 2-year-old you've come across. You've brought a couple over, Bodine Boaz, and You're So Fine, but we've had Western Cullen and that come over as a 2-year-old. He's probably as well credentialed 2-year-old that we've seen at this time of year.
Yeah, he probably is. I don't like Art Majors, never have.
This one.
I bought him because he reminded me of Merlin, the one that Barry Purdon's got. And he looks like him, and he paces like him, and he's a beautiful horse. He's a little nuggety horse, and he's really good looking, So and he's fast. He's done everything I've asked of him at home, but you never know till you get to the races. So I'm looking forward to Friday night, but I've got a certain amount of anxiety. I'll probably be a cock case by then.
Race 10, we've got to wait. He's actually well related. He's a half to Cyclone Charlotte as well. So
is he?
Yeah, he's out of Cyclone Kate, who.
He might have a bit of stamina then. I don't know what his stamina's like.
Yeah,
because he's either led over there or had good runs, So I don't know whether if he's forced to face the breeze.
Yeah.
Friday night, I don't know how he'd go, but the way he works, he'd probably go pretty good, I think.
Yeah. Cyclone Charlotte is by Bettor's Delight, so it probably helps.
Yeah,
probably helps.
With a tough,
that might help.
But
Majors doesn't help in the stamina department, but he's very quick. He's quick out of the barrier too. So
don't bag Art Major to Morts.
No,
he loves Art Major. Oh, Major Martini. Do you want me to reel them off for you?
I want him to reel me off a couple of open class group. Grand Circuit winners by Art Major. Well, I'll give you about an hour. You can go away. I want to try and find one.
For a reason was okay. I can give you a couple.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a few there.
Yeah, he was Art Major.
Was it? Oh, I didn't know we were going that far back.
Vincent, he's an Art Major. He retired at 4, I think, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Anyway, but I'm talking Grand Circuit horses like Mighty Queens, Leap of Fame, those type of horses.
Anyway,
a lot of them have suggested they were going to go there, but they never did.
Each to their own, Senior. Each to their own.
What are you going to share?
Well, you love Washington VC, so.
Well, would you?
Exactly.
I wonder why.
For you, yes.
I wonder why. So this bloke,
nobody else liked them. They never did any good anywhere but here.
Yeah, I don't think Alabar's going to give you another service after that.
So Art Major, I've never sent a horse to him.
Now this,
I sent Nuala to him, and I could beat it. He's been a great sire. There's no doubt about that, and he's definitely produced some sensational young horses, but. Not many of them have gone on. Maybe that's because the people have raced them.
Exactly.
Cyclone Geordie's already had 5 starts, and he's going to have another 2-year-old start, and then another one in the Golden Slipper, hopefully.
Yeah.
So that'll be 7 2-year-old starts. And you know what? I don't like, racing 2-year-olds. I think that's the legacy of having. When I trifected the Golden Slipper and Zakara, I didn't put him in. I owned Zakara. I put the other 3 in. They ran 1, 2, 3, but they all retired prematurely, and Zakara went on to be the great horse that he was. So that sort of stuck in my mind, and that's how I've always approached things. That's why I've got that idea about looking after him for latter races anyway. So.
Well, this bloke certainly looks like he's worth looking after. He has shown some good gate speed over there in New Zealand, and even one occasion when he did draw 10, he was able to just get straight through the field really quick. So, as we know, gate speed is very important here
tactical speed, yeah.
At Gloucester Park. So, we look forward to seeing how he goes first up Friday night, but I would imagine he is going to be
sure price
beating that lot based on what we saw.
That lot, please.
Right.
No, there's some nice horses.
There's some very
paint the palette, the last card copy. And,
yeah,
they must all be out majors. That's why I'm like
well, Paint the Balance by Vincent, who's by out majors.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, well, you know.
Yeah.
Do you like Vincent's?
Well, I do. But anyway.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I think Always Be Mickey might end up the best
very good side.
in Australia and New Zealand.
Mort's love Always Be Mickey as well.
Yeah,
He's had a couple of them. Tricky Mickey and...
They've got a bit of strength about them.
Yeah, they certainly do.
That's where my, what do you call it? See, I bought Zenard and Clinton rang me. I think I was over east with... the Mighty Quinn somewhere, and Clinton rang me and said, "You're going to net only the mobile barrier will beat this horse." And I said, "What?" And he said, "It's the best track worker I've ever sat behind," you know. And he was right, he was. Yeah. But gee, he liked to put the tail between his legs and pull up. I can tell you that.
We've all owned a few of those, Senior. That's for sure.
He broke the world record at Menangle when Luke got him, and then he couldn't run another place for him.
No.
They're funny horses.
Yeah.
They are. I'm not saying they haven't got ability, but, you know, they're like... In the old days, I was the same with Classic Gary's. I couldn't get one out of its own way, and everyone else was winning races with them. So just horses for courses, isn't that what
100%. 100%.
Junior, Senior, you finished up all right. Now, Senior, before we do wind up, just a bit of an update on some of your free-for-allers in Jumpin' Jack Mac, Diego, Wild West, You're So Fine, Finvara? Whereabouts are they at?
Finvara is gone. He's not coming back here. So You're So Fine, Bodie's tendon.
Sorry
so
about
he's
that.
not. You won't be seeing him quite badly, unfortunately.
That's not good.
Oh, that's not
yeah, he had a pretty hard run at his last start, I think, from memory.
Wild West?
What else was there? What were the other ones? Oh, yeah, Jumping Jack Mac, Diego, and Wild West all had their first track runs on Wednesday. They all come back really well. They look really good. I'm really happy with them. I think they'll definitely be a Pacing Cup chances for sure. The whole three of them. And I haven't got anything else in that class.
No, just the 4-year-olds.
Yeah, just the 4-year-olds.
Yeah.
I think those 4-year-olds are as good as Diego and Jumpin' Jack Mac. I do.
There you go. Okay.
So
it's pretty big rap.
Just the maturity is the only thing that'll stop them, but they're the equal of those horses for sure.
Yeah, no, that's good. Very good.
Senior, I never know where our conversations are going to go.
Why?
but I'm always entertained.
I remember when somebody asked me about what's the name of the horse? Terror to Love.
Terror, yeah.
And I said he was the most overrated horse I ever saw. He only ever won in New Zealand. And I said, he's talk about overrated. Quinny couldn't get rated anywhere in Australia, and Terror to Love was. Even after Quinny beat him by 6 lengths in the Auckland Cup, they still said he was a certainty beaten. You know.
Yeah.
And
I got in a couple of arguments with Kiwis about Terror to Love as well.
The headlines the next day in the paper: Gary Hall says Terror to Love is not much good. Something along those lines. You know? Everybody in New Zealand hated me out for that, but as well as West Australia now, so I've made a real good. Of it, you know what I mean?
Indeed. Senior, as always, thank you for taking time to chat to us, and mate, really looking forward to these horses returning, and also the debut of Cyclone Geordie, and we'll see you over the next couple of weeks, no doubt, at Gloucester Park.
Maybe Friday night.
Yeah, hopefully.
I think I'll come down.
Beautiful.
I'll come down and watch. Because I want to see them have their first run. So I'll be down there, I think.
Beautiful. All right, we'll see you then.
See you later. Bye. See you.
Gary Hall Snr there.
He's always good to chat to.
Isn't he?
Always good to chat to.
And got an opinion.
Yeah,
which is good.
Which is great.
Gives you his opinion.
Tell you what, he's got
But-
some very nice horses in there tomorrow night, Michael.
Yeah, and there's no doubt, just like, yeah, he keeps on saying he's going to retire, and all of a sudden gets another horse that's winning Group 1s, and then all of a sudden gets another 2-year-old, Cyclone Geordie.
Yeah, it must be.
And just going to keep rolling through. So he just keeps finding him.
Must be very hard. Such good horses like that to just turn around and walk away. So he'll be around.
Interesting
for
to
a
see what
little
the
bit.
market's going to be tomorrow night with Sky Loose, Mr. Smarty. Him saying he wants to be with Mr. Smarty. The market on HRA, which are now pretty solid, suggests that Mr. Smarty's going to be $155 to $7. They're probably going to be closer, but saying that, you'd think Mr. Smarty's going to be a pronounced favourite. But interesting to see that Sky Lou is his tip.
Yeah, I just
Said it also in the interview with, in the article with Tim Walker as well.
given the draw first up over the 21:30, the
Derby winner.
and they've got plenty of big races in front of them. So
Yeah,
they'll,
it's a good race, isn't it?
yeah. Oh, there's some terrific races.
Yeah.
Really good races tomorrow night. We see the return of Penny Tiger, which will be great. And then we've
What
got-
a good race that is. Like, really fast front line. It's as quick as we've probably got. Talks up a storm. Too fast, too serious.
serious.
But
Hampton Banner.
still the show's really quick. Hampton Banner's really quick. And Penny Tiger's, up there with the best beginners in the state. The other thing with Penny Tiger, first up, over 1,700. He's got a big campaign coming into a pacing cup.
Yep.
It's a really interesting race. Race number 3, the Varley Graham McNeese.
And then the 3-year-old Dainty's Daughter Classic as well.
Yeah.
So another great race there. Just looking forward to seeing Waterloo, and just makes it a little bit more interesting, the fact she's drawn out there in 9, but I think she's just too good.
Yeah, interesting. I had a chat to Tim Walker this morning after he came off air in the studios, chatting about it because, and we're all big fans of Waterloo, but it's amazing the Oaks. There's been so many boiler. It's the one race that there's so many boiler. A filly can be so dominant. And, like she's $1.22 and $1.65 and well-deserved, Waterloo. And then the Derby, the Oaks is coming up for her. And then the Derby after that, it's she's the type of filly that probably can overcome that bit of a hoodoo for favourites in an Oaks heading in and then into a Derby. She's that good. But, yeah, it's she's racing a very good field, obviously, in Group 3. But this is what the time of year we've been aiming for. This is what the program's about, all these good horses coming into this time of year right up in December now. It's just going to be great racing.
It certainly is, and it's a shame it's race number 10, but really looking forward to seeing that race, as we said,
such an interesting race as well. Like there's
some good horses
like some really nice horses in that, and particularly the bottom 3 that probably going towards it. Well, and all 5 of them, all 6 of them going towards like trying to get into a golden slipper the next week.
Yeah, definitely. So, no, good field, good way to finish what is going to be a very good card on Friday night. That's for sure.
Now, this segment, Morts, before we do some news, is brought to you by Loans 123, car loans, debt consolidations, all your personal finance. Who do you see?
The great man, Steve Sell, the Nude Nut.
Yeah, loans123.com.au or 1-800.
100, still doing things the banks can't. So
Sure he is. What a great man he is.
He is. He's a funny fella, is Steve.
He's a good man.
He is. He really is. He's a funny bloke. Good to
and
good
he'll
to
look
catch
after you
up
as
with
well.
him.
If he can help you, he will.
And if he can't, well,
No, you're in trouble.
massive trouble. Absolutely massive trouble. Now, what have we got, Michael?
Now, Morts, the ultimate driver's slot were announced
on Gareth Hall's show.
Hall showing SEM. I made a return to SEM.
Did you have to wear a mask?
I didn't think they'd let me back.
No? Or you might have worn a mask or something.
No, my good
Crept
mate,
in the back door.
my good mate Gareth looked after me, the announcement of the Ultimate Drivers Series, and we spoke to David Brick before about this when they first announced it, and and also kept a little bit of an update and got some news updates going forward. But, the big announcement is the slot holders, and I'll go through them. Tumby Park, who raced the Ultimate Horses and raced the Ultimate Horses over here. First Over Crush, which is a great Chris Barsby saying, so it's a Queensland syndicate.
Right.
Gath Racing Group and supporting Team Teal. I'd imagine that's Kate Gath. They haven't announced their driver, but
you would think so.
SEN Garrards and One Equine Syndicate, the Unharnessed Hawk Syndicate, N40 Racing Boys Get Paid Syndicate, which is a New Zealand syndicate.
Right.
ARB Summit Bloodstock, Ron Burke and Weaver Bushimi Syndicate. Weaver Bushimi are the owners of most of the stable for Ronnie Burke in America, Triple Play Syndicate and Ladbrokes. Now, Ladbrokes have announced Dexter Dunn as their driver. That's the only driver announced. I can imagine that Kate Gath is going to...
You would think so.
Is going to be the driver for...
If he wants to stay married,
yeah. For Gath Racing. Tumby Park said they're going to Europe, so either Scandinavia, I'd imagine, or France. They're the two meccas of harness racing over there, so Sweden or France. And obviously ARB Summit with Ron Burke and Weaver Bushimi will pick an American driver. And they've said that. So it'll be interesting who they pick up. Weaver and Bushimi have a few drivers for them. Yannick Gringas is one of them. T-Trigger's driven for them. McCarthy's is driven for them. Scotty Zeron's. They use the best drivers over there, so it'll be interesting to see who they bring over there. And the final one is the Gloucester Park Gurus.
Gurus, yeah.
So Gloucester Park has teamed up.
So who's in that, Michael?
I can tell you there is. Let me go through. Our man Ollie Cownie is one of the main men.
Very good.
He's the man that I've been dealing with. Matty Leppard, the big cat, former expert in Victoria, but obviously is very big into WA and also Queensland. Matty Joss, who's a listener, one of our 20. Glenn Hepburn, who they tell me is the numbers man of the Gurus.
Right, okay.
He's keeping them all in line. The very powerful Michael Young is part of the syndicate. And
well,
actually,
if he's got something to do with it, you are in luck.
We should have asked him. Gary Hall Snr is also part of that syndicate.
Awesome.
Yeah, so he's part of it. He's friends with, obviously, Matty Joss and Matt Leppard and Ollie Cownie. So we're a team with them.
No real surprise who your driver will be then?
No, we still haven't decided on that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, because, have you seen... Well, you might think it's junior, but have you seen senior and junior fight? he might tear up Mr. Smarty on Friday night and be barred for life.
Correct.
Correct. So, we're certainly looking at drivers and all that sort of stuff going into it. So,
and you're even sitting there with a straight face.
It will be.
What a load of crap.
It will be a WA driver.
Yeah,
it will be a WA driver. So,
sorry, I should say there actually are a lot of very good drivers in WA to pick from. So I'm not, but just knowing that seniors involved in the very powerful stable.
Senior's got a small share, and it might be a minus on his voting. So if he actually does vote for junior, it could be a deduction in points.
Correct. Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
So.
So the concept of the series.
Yeah. So it's 20 races over the Friday and Saturday night.
Right.
On February 20, let me get the dates, February 21, 22 at Albion Park. And I think it's good for harness racing all around because there'll be plenty of eyes, worldwide eyes as well, watching, including New Zealand and Scandinavia and Europe and America, particularly if those drivers come across. And we see bumps in wagering for the surrounding races as well, which is really good for us. But we thought we need a WA driver to go and compete. Because I think we've missed out not being part of the Eureka to showcase West-bred horses like they have in Queensland and Tasmania. And I think we need to do, because drivers take a lot of the wagering. Like, people bet on drivers predominantly certainly more than trainers, and it gets down to two horses and they'll pick their favourite driver, whether it's Chris Folk or Chris Lewis or Junior or Denny or whoever it might be, Aiden or Dylan. So it's big to get over there, and if we can win. Now, the way that the horses are selected, they're going to draw up the 20 races end barrier draw order, and then they got to do a draft, a bit like the BBL or whatever else, of picking their players, and it'll be you get to choose the first. If you're first in the first round, you're last in the second round, and if you're last in the first round, you're first in the second round. But you can choose any horse in any race. Obviously, you need to pick one horse per race, but you could pick something in race 1, and the next person could pick something in race 10 or race 20. And then you go back and, So it's got to be really important, the draft. And I think that the people we've teamed up are form experts. We'll talk to Ollie a little bit later on about it. Form experts in Queensland that know the horses, know the fields, and it's going to be interesting to see, we like this horse here and we need to pick up points and whatever else. So going through the races, they're obviously going to have to rank their horses in which order they want and stuff like that to make sure we maximise our where we finish.
I'm not sure that Senior's going to contribute a great deal.
I wouldn't have thought so.
No. And that's self-confessed from Senior himself.
Yeah, no, that's why we've got blokes like the Big Cat, Matty Leppard, Ollie Cownie, and those type of blokes. So they're the guys entrusted in picking the field, and obviously it's going to be branded with Gloucester Park, carrying Gloucester Park colours, and I think it's going to be good as far as promotion goes, particularly like almost 90% of our wagering is from the East Coast.
Yeah. No, that's, I think, great idea. Just trying anything in this environment is great. Signing Dexter straight up was a great get. And and there will be another American driver. Dexter's obviously now in America, even though he's from New Zealand. We're going to have a Kiwi. Interesting to see the New Zealand guys said they're going to pick virtually just a guy out of the junior drivers that's come through the junior driving ranks. So it'd be interesting to see who that is, because they've got some great drivers in New Zealand. They do.
You'd imagine Nathan Dorr.
Who may not be in New Zealand anymore.
No, may not.
Yes.
But then, the Tumby have said they're going to go to Scandinavia or France.
Yeah.
There's a couple of Queenslanders. You'd imagine Nathan Dawson's going to be picked up. He's the leading driver in there. Kate Gath, you'd imagine.
Yep.
You probably think someone's going to pick up Cam Hart, but that, leaves out drivers like Greg Sugars, who I think is just about the big best race driver in the country. Luke McCarthy, So there is another New South Wales slot. I think it's the triple play slot that Jared Croker's associated with. I don't know whether our listeners know Jared Croker. He's a rugby league player, just retired, played 13, 14 seasons for Canberra. Was a great centre, played a lot of games. I think he holds the record for most number of points for Canberra and was a fantastic centre, loves harness racing. He's actually on SEN, the drive show, doing trot tips each week, and tell you what, he doesn't miss too many. And I've been to a lot of meetings where I've run into Jared. He's there and he loves harness racing. When they did a Fox special on him, there's a picture of him playing football or one of his jersey, and then there's like 3 racing photos of his paces.
Okay, it's good. That's good.
So,
good to see the passion.
Yeah, he does really love racing. So, I think it's going to be a great couple of days of racing, and I think it's going to be great for harness racing. It's really going to put the eyes of harness racing, and as I said, the supporting meetings are going to get a lift out of that in February. I think it might be our World Mayor's Cup from memory that's that night. So, it also depends on availability of drivers as well. Like, Never Ending goes around in the it could change, juniors' availability or whoever's availability, depending, like if Magnificent Storm is in, Aiden's not available, or whatever. But that could change it.
Plenty of good ones to choose from here, Michael.
I think whoever we threw the colours at, they would compete with the best, and we've seen that. We've seen that,
definitely.
And I think our top 10 drivers here and top 12 drivers here are
as good as
any over there.
Yeah, male and female.
Yeah,
100%. As good as any. No,
100%.
Very lucky
but
here
it's a
in
great concept.
WA.
Queensland are, they're very aggressive. I think I've said it a number of times. I think David Brick's the best administrator in harness racing, and a fair way, and he's doing great jobs. Like, obviously, he's only got a couple of tracks to look after, and you can do things with infrastructure, like have the numbers in running with all the horses, the chiclet things. So you can do that for 2 tracks, where you can't do it for 30. And stuff like that in New South Wales and Victoria. You've got to pick pick the tracks that you want to do it, but unfortunately don't have it in WA. But obviously Sky One's such an important thing. They've always been at the forefront. The times now at Queensland, they were the first to do the sectional times and that sort of stuff, which David's driven, and very good administrator. You talk to David, very, very level-headed bloke and very good administrator. And this is another thing that he's introduced, and I think it's a great concept.
I think it's great. No, assemble all the big names, in the one meeting, and be great to watch them, put their skills against each other. So it should be good concept, and anything is worth promotion of harness racing.
Oh, exactly.
And that, with just the international people, will put so many more eyeballs on harness racing in Australia, which is great.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's terrific. 7+ kicked off for Perth Racing yesterday.
Yes.
They had some pretty good coverage there, which was good.
Yeah, did you watch?
I just watched a little bit. Yeah, it was obviously got to work their way into it, but always going to be hard to completely fill out all the content. That's for sure. But interesting.
Yeah, it certainly is. So we'll see how that progresses for the thoroughbreds on 7+.
Yeah, because they're still on Sky, of course.
Sky One, Sky One and Sky 2, yes.
Yep. So it was good to see that launch. You would have got the issues paper which came out, time slots and venues, Michael.
Yes, read it. Well, we've already seen the figures, so was it a great surprise to us?
Yeah.
The figures and also the travelling times and stuff.
Yeah, just asking people to write a submission. I'm not sure what that's going to.
No, probably would have helped having questions with possible outcomes.
Yeah, not too many questions.
Rather than, because, it's hard for people to see those figures and then analyse them because they mightn't have seen those type of figures and also don't know what drives those type of figures as well. So it's actually hard to get an analyst and from lay people on what they think of the wagering turnover.
Yeah.
Because, you look at the numbers and they're the numbers, but what drives them and also, what makes what makes up the numbers and stuff like that. So probably would have been better with some questions around the possible outcomes of what that actually means, because the numbers are the numbers.
They are, and I think it's good that they've been shared, because people always talk about this and this and that, but without the data confirming it, you don't really know what you're talking about.
No.
But you see it there in black and white, and I think it's just good for people in harness racing to see our harsh reality, and it is, and explain to people how it comes about and what drives the industry, and then they can make an informed decision.
And it's the only thing that funds the industry. So to maximise that turnover, and clearly the big standout is the Friday night second meeting compared to the Sunday meeting, catering for two horses, and the difference in the wagering. But to show people that, but what's the analysis out of that though? Without any
context around it to some people, there were a couple of glaring things that stood out, and I think it would have been good to have some workshops, maybe just explaining to people what it's really about. And
there's going to be workshops in the new handicapping system, which comes in January 1.
Yeah,
they're coming up.
So there's no consultation there. That's process. That's just
I think it's an update of this is how it's going to work, and take questions, and they might take feedback on different things if they get good questions. But that's the handicapping system, the rating system's coming in January 1.
Yeah, so it's interesting that you can make that decision without consultation, but there are so many other decisions that you can't make. Is it time for a break, is it, Michael?
I'll leave that with you. I've been in too many meetings over the past months. I don't want to talk about race times. Now, let's go to a break. Now, a man who would not be out of place driving for the Gloucester Park Gurus is Chris Folk.
Oh, I've always liked Chris Folk, and he's nobody in better form right at the minute than Chris Folk, training and driving.
Now, last Friday night was the Howard Porter Memorial, a great name in harness racing here in WA, and San Real, who has had many issues in his career, but has been such a good horse. He won the 4-year-old Classic.
He did, yeah.
Was narrowly beaten in the Nugget, I think, but has been through injury and everything, and for him to come back and win another listed race was fantastic.
And it was a big push from Chris Vogt on the Gloucester Park preview last Friday morning.
He's very good to listen to, Chris. When he
very honest.
Yeah.
Very honest. And if he thinks they're a good chance, he'll give it a good push. And he gave it a good push last Friday, and the money came for it, and it duly saluted, and he just got it out beautifully. And from that point on, was always going to be very hard to beat, even though had Talks Up a Storm right behind. It was just a great drive.
No, you've certainly got to listen to Chris, whether he's on the preview or the interviews prior to the races. You've got to listen to see Vogue. As we go to the break, here is San Real winning the Howard Porter Memorial.
Around the turn, 28 for the third quarter. Sangro Real in front. He's still got the favourite bottled up here, Vogue. Sangro Real in front of Armour Rhinestone. No Run Talks Up a Storm. Then Soho Dow Jones. He goes for the leader now, though, and it clears away. Sangro Real is nicely out in front, doing it well over Talks Up a Storm, Armour Rhinestone, and beautiful driving from Chris Vogt. Sangro Real races home to beat Talks Up a Storm, Armour Rhinestone, and fourth along the inside.
Hi, I'm Steve Sell from Loans 123. We are car finance specialists. We can help you find the loan you're looking for, your new car, and help find a home for your old one. If you want a new or used car but feel uncomfortable visiting car yards on your own, we can help and often save you money. For a stress-free way of buying and financing your next car, who do you see? Steve Sell at loans123.com.au or call 1800 100 100.
Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
As they turn, so Castella Dell'Acqua the first after Zafira, and Sister Sherry will try and wind up, but it's Castella Dell'Acqua storming up on the outside of Zafira. Sister Sherry giving chase to Castella Dell'Acqua. Castella Dell'Acqua in front of Zafira. Sister Sherry the outside, and then Sovrana, but Castella Dell'Acqua comes away for Jocelyn and wins it well. Second home was Zafira.
Yeah, good win for Castella Dell'Acqua and Morts. It was
Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching.
It was at the end of the night, and I'm watching it with my brother-in-law who likes a bet, and I said, Bombers Tips just rolled in. He went, you could have told me before this. We're a bit busy this afternoon to watch.
Yeah, no, Bomber was very, very keen on that one.
Yeah,
very
$3.90 in the end. Jocelyn Young, trained and driven, daughter of Captain Treacherous, and she was a good win. Now, Morts, this segment is brought to you by your local WA electrical appliance specialist, Retrovision, where RAC members receive an additional 5% every day, and I can tell you, Morts, the new washing machine landed this week.
Oh, lovely.
And washed everything from Sydney and Newcastle.
Would have taken a while.
We're ready to rock and roll.
Well, Michael, I'm actually going to read this one out because this is,
okay.
I believe this is the best offer we've ever had in a Retrovision store.
Okay.
Right at the moment, you can buy a 75-inch Samsung television, so the number one in the market. Save $500. It's $995.
For a 75-inch.
Plus, RAC members get an additional 5%. Plus, exclusive to Retrovision, you get a bonus $130 Retrovision gift card. Never ever has there been a deal that good ever that I can remember. So get down and see the local team at your local Retrovision store and take a big car because it's a big TV.
Not only if you tune into Talking Trots, you get the early prices.
Correct. You do. On the TVs and the...
you get the Retrovision specials.
That is
here on Talking Trots.
Don't normally do that, but that is the best ever. So get on down and grab one.
All right, a man who's already Googling Retrovision. Well, he's got already in his web browser. But I'm tipping he's loading it into the card already is Scott Bomber Hill. Bomber, welcome to the program.
G'day, Rads and Mort. How you going?
Yeah, really good. After Castella Dell'Acqua, you'd have some folding this week, surely.
Yeah, we were struggling a bit early in the night, but good way to finish. She was. They put up a really big price her early, so yeah, had a pretty big smile on the face at the end of the night.
All right. We've got 10 races tomorrow night at Gloucester Park. The first at 5:20. The feature events are, tell you what, the Kersley, race number 4, worth $30,000. Mr. Smarty versus Sky Lou, plus Louis Dior and a heap of other good horses. We've got the Danie's Daughter Classic, which is the feature event of the night, race number 5. And it is at Group 3 level for the fillies, $50,000, but a great support card as well. And we will start off with 4 Bomber. There's no market for this particular race, but we do have markets for others. It is race number 3. And as we have a look at the field, we've got, hang on, here we go, race number 3. It is the Valet Graham McNeice. What a great man. Gave me my first job in Sky Racing. Seeing that, I actually suggested me. We're having the interview, like 10 minutes in, and Graham said, well, Michael, you know you get the job. What are we going to talk about for the next 20 minutes?
He was very good.
Great man. He looked after me and the team. Michael Felgate was there, Andrew Brown, Sam Nadai, then a whole heap. Nick Robin was on the presenting panel at the time with a heap of other luminaries, and owe a lot to the great Shadow Graham McNeice. Now let's have a look at the market. Now I'll tell you what, this is a fantastic mile race with a lot of speed across the board. The 8 runners, all across the front. Talks Up a Storm for Murray Lindau and Kyle Harper. Too Fast, Too Serious, Dylan Edgerton Green. Steal the Show. Team Bond, Denny Roberts. Hampton Banner, Chris and Debbie Lewis. Condiro, Trevor Wright and Gary Hall Jr. So are Down Jones, Kim Prentice, Mitchell Miller. Penny Tiger returns for Michael Brennan and Chris Folk, and he will be the favourite for this race. And we've got the Codebreaker for Ryan Bell and Kyle Symington. This is a really good race, Bomber. A lot of speed for the short course here at Gloucester Park.
Yeah, it's going to be a race to that first corner for sure. But I'm a big Penny Tiger fan, and whenever he draws the front, it's pretty rare that he doesn't lead. So I'm backing him first up at this favourable front straight mile start to get across. Talks Up a Storm's the one he probably really needs to get across. And, I don't think he's as lightning off the arm as Penny Tiger, and he does muster, but I think hopefully Penny Tiger's put enough of a margin on him to cross before the corner comes up. And yeah, we just go all eggs in here and into the front turn, and hopefully he comes out in front. And if he does, I think he'll be winning, Penny Tiger.
Probably suits him better being, if you're going to be drawn wide-ish, then he's probably better a little bit wider because he probably gets a better run at them, Bomber.
They do get a fly from that wide start at the mile. There's no doubt about that, Morts. And I think it's like I said, it's very rare he doesn't cross from either start here at Gloucester Park, and he's got a really good record in the front straight. So yeah, nice and fresh. I'm sure he'll be ready to fire the arm.
And Chris Voke in the cart, and we know Penny Tiger's got plenty of big races coming up, but there's no doubt that he's the standout in that field. So Bomber race 3, horse number 7, Penny Tiger for Michael Brennan and Christopher Voke. What's the staking plan?
Yeah, it's a 2-unit bet. I thought we'd get pretty close to even money with Talks Up a Storm drawn in 1, and plenty of other speed in the race as well. I think I'll be surprised if he's not close to even money. So happy to have a 2-unit bet.
Yeah, it's going to be a great race number 3, and really looking forward. It's going to kick off into the better races of the night. All right, we're going to move to race number 6. This is the Valet Terry Radley. My thanks to Johnny Burton, Bill Delaney and the team for organising the race name for the family. Tubbs Farquhar, open 750 out to 950 back to 850. What about this one? My Ultimate Baxter, drawn barrier 2, $6 it opened up, $2.70 favourite. Good go for My Ultimate Baxter. Illawong Mustang, $21. Naming Lights, $34. Lamandiere, $12. Carrara Mac, $19. Beleza Nera at $6.50. Tiger Royale at $14. Waratah Lou, outside the front line, open $1.95 favourite, drifted to $3.40, back into $2.80, but second favourite. And My Ultimate Chevron, the only runner off the back line at $12. Big go here, My Ultimate Baxter Bomber. $6 to $2.70. Which way are you going?
Yeah, I'm with him, Rads. It's win, lose or draw. The $6 was ludicrous. He's a big chance of bullying his way to the top. I think Tubbs Farquhar will take a sit in this sort of grade. There is some speed out wide, but he's got good gate speed, My Ultimate Baxter, and he goes exceptionally well in front. hasn't really fared particularly well at the barriers since coming west, but when he leads, he's always very hard to beat. And last time he did, he led here at Gloucester Park and absolutely bolted in, running a 56.5 last half. And if he runs anywhere near that, he'll be winning here.
Chris Lewis, no stranger in leading and winning, that's for sure. So has the right man aboard, race number 6, the Valet Terry Radley mobile start pace. Horse number 2, My Ultimate Baxter for Deborah Lewis and Chris Lewis. What's the staking plan, Bomber?
Yeah, 2 unit bet. I thought his price was probably around $250, so just a touch of value there now that the big price is gone. Who knows? He may drift back out, but I think he'll give us a great sight.
Now, before we go to the break, Bomber, race number 5 is the 3-year-old Danny's Daughter Classic, $50,000 Group 3. We skipped over in our tips, probably because Waterloo is the $1.65 favourite ahead of the stablemates drawn 1 and 2 in Soho Honey Rider and Soho Vesperland, both at $5. Only other runner under double figures is Madam Publisher, drawn 12. Is she just too good for him despite the wide draw, Waterloo?
I think so. I think the $1.65 is probably not a bad price, to be fair. She doesn't necessarily have to go forward. I think they will, just because I think she can dominate them. But I'd be surprised if she was beaten.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, she's a very good filly and obviously had a truck onto the Oaks and then probably to take on the boys in the Derby, and she looks right up to that task. Now, before we, as we go to the break, Mort's Me Flash, who goes up against a very good field. He won last week, but he goes up in class this week. Goes up against the Hall pair and Sky Lou, Mr. Smarty, Louis Dior. You've got Paul Edward and Rockmeister for Dylan, Star Casino for Ray, and the Sugar Street for Barry Howard. It's a really good race, isn't it? And he's up in class, but I tell you what, he just keeps on being able to pick up a race, Me Flash.
Certainly does. Shane Steele. Good win last week. So, but as you said, picked a pretty tough race there, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, he meets Soho Firestone again as we go to the break. Me Flash, he leads and holds off Soho Firestone.
8 seconds in front. At the moment, holding Soho Firestone and Vegas Strip out 3 wide. No Run Rock Artist, likewise Belezanira. And then came Illawong Mustang and further back Name in Lights. But it's Me Flash in front with 120 to go from Soho Firestone and Rock Artist. Me Flash in front of Soho Firestone, Rock Artist. Me Flash in front, holding Soho Firestone, who'll get close on the line. But Me Flash wins it and wins it well all the way bar meter to Soho Firestone.
There's always a lot more in store for you at Retrovision. Like Retrovision's lowest price guarantee. If you find a lower price on a same-stocked item, we'll beat it. There's our 60-day price promise, where we'll refund you 120% of the difference if you find a lower advertised price on any purchase. Plus, RAC members save an extra 5% every day of the year. After 60 years, a lot has changed, but there's still a lot more in store at Retrovision.
You are listening to Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley.
In front of Ideal Tomato, Franco Mecca into the clear, trying to. Sugar Street's out wider. Then My Ultimate Chevron, but Goodfellas goes for home, top of the straight and runs clear from Ideal Tomato. And then Franco Mecca, who's getting out, but it's Goodfellas being nursed by Lewis in front over Ideal Tomato, getting out Franco Mecca, but Goodfellas in front and dominated from the breeze and won it well from Franco Mecca, Ideal Tomato, Sugar Street, Lamandiere, My Ultimate Chevron.
Good tough performance, Morts.
Certainly was. Very good win.
It's always been a nice horse, Goodfellas.
Yeah, and as we said earlier on, Chris Lewis knew the best time to put the horse into the race and just sat in the outside, controlled the race and went on to win.
All right, this segment's brought to you by Steel Blue Boots, built for comfort, made for work. Well over 700 stockists nationwide. Our man Ross has been in Victoria last week.
He's been everywhere.
Yeah.
Sydney to Melbourne, Melbourne to Mayland.
Big defence, I think, symposium he went to.
Yeah, some big expo down there. So I saw his dial on must have been an Instagram post or something.
Yeah, certainly was. But we know how good the boots are, Morts, and that's why they're clamouring to get them, whether they're in defence, they're work boots, whatever you need.
Yes, they certainly are a mark of true skill, designed for comfort, durability and choice. backed by a 30-day 100% comfort guarantee.
They sure are. All right, let's have a look at the next race we got to look at with Bomber. It's race number 7. It's the Allwood Stud, devoted to breeding excellent pace over the 25-30 metres. And let's have a look at the Tab Touch market for race number 7. We've got Just Like Turbo from the pole, $12. Cry Havoc. Also, the champion greyhound was named Cry Havoc, $12. Ideal Tomato at $2.70. Mac Better at $5 in from 7. Chillin is at $9.50. Beyond Bling $41. Rock Me Over $6. Tucks and Tails $91. Barbados at $31. Mr. Macadon at $9. Let's Get Rockin' $12. Pierre Whitby at $20. And you've got the 2 emergencies there as well. Bomber, race number 7. Which way are we going?
Yeah, I thought Max Better was the one here. He comes off a 3-week break and he looks to slot in pretty nicely from the draw, I think. The 2 and the 3 will both go forward. And he hasn't won at the trip here at Gloucester Park. He has won at 2,600 at Northam, and he's ran 2 cracking seconds at GP over the trip behind Sky Lord and Tricky Mickey. So pretty good form for a race like this. He'll be close up in the running line, so he may need his share of luck over the last 1,000 to 1,200, but this is a type of grade he excels in, and I think he's the right price. He's been $7 into 5. I think he could hang around that price and maybe even get a little bit longer close to post time. And, I think he's going to be pretty hard to beat.
Well, I'm glad you found that one, Bomber, because I had a look at the race and very even. I couldn't I couldn't separate between a few, so I'm glad you've been able to get amongst them and find it. And the Ryan Bell stable going very good. And, of course, we've got Kyle Symington back in WA. So race number 7 in the Allwood Stud, devoted to breeding excellence. Horse number 4, Max Better for Ryan Bell and Kyle Symington. What's the staking plan, Bomber?
Yeah, just the 1 unit. As I said, he could need a little bit of luck over the last 1,200 but from the running line. But if he gets it, they'll know he's around.
All right, the final race we're going to look at is race number 9. No market up as yet, but it's the follow at Sky Racing AU on Instagram stand start over the 25.03 metres. We have Duty Bound from the pole. Rock Artist for Chris Folk, trainer and driver. Looks well positioned from the front, barrier 2. Cheddar is Better. Is the other runner from the front. Then on the 10-metre line, we've got awaiting instructions. Master Leighton and Franco Mecca, all on the 10 metres, and the sole runner off the 20 metres is On the Black Flash for Gary Hall Sr. and Jr. Which way are you going in the second last race, Bomber?
Yeah, I'm with Rock Artist. I think he'll ping on top, and he's only real danger on the Black Flash drawn on to come off the 20 metres. He's going to have a pretty tough task, I think. Rock Artist has had the 5 starts from the front line in WA, and he's led on each occasion, won 3 and ran second behind Karana on the other 2 occasions. And I think the big advantage Vokey has here is probably gets the opportunity just to drive to beat one horse, and it'll become a bit tactical and a bit cat and mouse. But out in front, this bloke probably holds all the aces, I think, and I think he can get the job done over the Black Flash.
And if he steps cleanly, it's just going to make it all that much harder for the Black Flash, who is first up tomorrow night over the 2,503 metres. So race 9, horse number 2, Rock Artist for the very informed stable of Chris Folk. What's the staking plan, Bomber?
Yeah, 2 unit bet. I'm confident he leads, and expect Vokey just to be looking over the shoulder for where the danger is, and I think he can get the job done, Rock Artist.
All right, relatively confident. We've got 3 2-unit bets and a unit bet. Have you got a multi for us, Bomber?
Yeah, we have got a little one tomorrow night, a 3-legger. We'll go race 1, number 11, Castella Delac with a place. We'll back her up after last week's effort. I just think there'll be plenty of speed for her to follow here, and she can be strong late off the back of that. Into race 4, number 10, Louis Dior. I'm not sure he can win from the draw, but he's got such high speed. I expect him to be flying home into a hole late. And then race 8, number 7, Atlas the Titan. I think he looks the one to beat here way back in grade. I think he'll bring up a win.
All right, so we got race 1, number 11, a place, race 4, number 10, a place, and race 8, number 7, a win for the multi. Bomber, it's been great chatting to you. How are you going with your footy finals in both the AFL and NRL? There's been some great games in both leagues.
Yeah, there has been from a neutral perspective. It's been pretty good viewing. Really. I mean, obviously NRL, it's going to. You'd think Penrith and Melbourne would be the two teams, but the AFL's still wide open, I reckon.
You're going to have to call you Mr. Neutral. You've been neutral for 20 years in the AFL, Bomber. which makes me the same.
Can we get a tip for both? How about we have a long-range double in ARL, NRL?
Long-range double, I'll go...
Longish range, it's a couple of weeks.
Yeah, longish, 2 weeks, 2 and 3 weeks. I'll go Geelong, Penrith.
Okay, there we go.
Geelong, okay.
No, I'm with you.
Penrith.
I'm with you in Penrith.
Yeah. Yeah, same.
Yeah, my man's back in Cleary.
That's it.
That makes massive difference.
Yeah. In one game after a break and just was just too good.
Yeah.
All right. Good on you, Bomber. We'll speak to you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Enjoy your 100th birthday party in Sydney.
Oh, sure will. Yeah, that's going to be something else.
Off the leash.
Yeah.
Good on you, Bomber. Bomber Hill there. Yeah, hopefully we found a few winners. Now, we spoke about this.
I like the multi too.
Yeah, it's a good multi.
Yeah.
Couple of plays into senior.
Yep.
Now, we've spoken about that stand start and rock artist, all the form lines going through Karana, isn't it? He's just...
Karana. The race was run beautifully last week. There was that early pace and then a bit of pace mid-race in that race, and it just set it up perfectly for Karana, and well driven by Denny Roberts, as always.
He won a conditioned, mobile, but he's been probably the dominant stand start,
definitely,
he? But he's converted to the conditioned pace last week. As we go to the break, let's listen to Denny Roberts getting the cash on Karana for Team Bond.
Really big run now, Karana, as they come around the home turn. Then middle page, dropping off Hampton Better Rascal around the turn. Karana, 4 deep, is really letting go on the outside, has raced up to Armour X Factor, and then Otis, followed by Mickey Jet, but it's Karana storming to the front with 50 metres to go. The race really run to suit. Robert strides hard, and the Duchess gets it home. Karana has won, Armour X Factor second.
New Mazda.
Yep, I love it. We got it from Bayswater Mazda.
I keep hearing great things about them.
They're fantastic to deal with. Great people, great coffee too.
At Bayswater Mazda, you'll always be well looked after. Visit the team today and find the best drive-away deals on new Mazdas and pre-owned vehicles. Driving is better with Bayswater Mazda.
So's the coffee.
Go and see Bayswater Mazda at the corner of Guildford and Garrett Road, Bayswater. DL 25174.
You are listening to Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley.
Mad Monday. They're still 3 in front of Down by the Avenue. Another 4 to repossession and Ravenous Romeo as they corner in Express Party. He's got the advantage on Mad Monday of still 3/4. Down by the Avenue's back third. Good fight for fourth between Ravenous Romeo and repossession, but Express Party late's pulling away from Mad Monday, and Express Party, first favourite of the day, salutes the judge nicely. Express Party from Mad Monday.
A well-deserved win for Express Party. He hadn't been able to break through, but he does at Pinjarra on Monday. Be interesting to see if it's enough to get into a race like the Golden Slipper, Morts, because he has raced in some big races, ran second in the Heat of the Pearl and made the final. It has now won a race, so interesting to see, but he's certainly got enough ability to be there.
Certainly has, but it's going to be a good slipper field. So there's a few horses that are going to be really pushing hard to get into that race.
Yeah, but goes pretty good for Mouse Brennan. And Mouse Brennan, talking to Timmy this morning, was going to be on they're trying to get him for the Retrovision Gloucester Park preview tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. to talk about Penny Tiger's return to racing.
Oh, well, we always tune in anyway, but
of course we do.
To anybody that doesn't,
and tune
in tomorrow morning.
You got your question ready to go?
I do.
No early hints?
No.
Okay.
No.
So you can tune in for the early prices and the early specials at Retrovision, but
can't get the early heads up on the because some of these blokes are like sharks. They just get in within 30 seconds.
Too good.
Doesn't matter how I try and trick them.
No. All right. This segment is brought to you by Bayswater Mazda. Driving is better in a Bayswater Mazda. Corner of Guildford and Garrett Roads, and the Mazda 6 got you here safely today. So you drive in it.
Yeah, it's just sitting out there parked beautifully
in the VIP.
Well, it's
car park.
Sorry, I thought the VIP was for the car, not the occupant. That's why I parked there. No, I love the Mazda. great car, and as we say, it is, driving is better in a maze. But driving, I'll try that again.
Can you?
Driving is great in a Mazda, but boy, it is fantastic in a Bayswater Mazda.
Glad you got there in the end.
So am I. I was a bit concerned.
It's been a long show.
A bit concerned there for a minute. I thought might be getting Bray to do a bit of editing there, but we got through it. So
sure did.
Corner of Garrett Road and Guildford Road in Bayswater.
They sure are. All right. Our provincial country in Queensland tipster is on the line, Ollie Cownie. Ollie, welcome to the program.
Mort's great. Rad's great to be on.
Now, I've got to say, Mort's Ollie is one of the gurus in the Gloucester Park Gurus.
Okay, so can I ask Ollie a question before you get
You sure
it?
can.
So,
Ollie, don't give anything away, but answer freely.
Yeah, well, look, the reason I'm asking Ollie is because I know he'll tell me the truth, that's for sure. Now, I hear you're part of the Gloucester Park Gurus, which is great because you're a fantastic addition, considering it's not just a case of getting a horse. There's a draft involved there, so your expertise and knowledge of form will be muchly appreciated. But come on, tell me who it is, who's the choice. I threw one up to Michael and he looked went a little bit red in the face and didn't want to answer me. So any clues on who the driver is, Ollie?
Oh, we're really excited about the driver series, and we're really hoping that form aspect comes into play. But hopefully we'll choose the best of the best drivers. And gee, Denny Roberts has been driving in good form recently with another Group 1 win the other day. She was fantastic there. There's some really good other drivers going around at the moment. Carl Harper drove 7 in 2 days recently, so we've got a few to choose from.
Lovely play, well played there.
Form's going to play a lot of big part in this.
I mean, Denny Roberts, Kyle Harper, they'd be welcome additions, but I just feel there could be a bit of a red herring there.
No.
Anyway, we look forward to hearing, but you're dead right. We've got just a wonderful selection of drivers here in WA.
I think it's good as anyone. We've said that previously on many occasions, and I certainly, whoever represents the team is going to do us proud. All right. Now we've got Bunbury Saturday night, only the 6 races, the first at 5:54. We head to Sunday at Central Wheat Belt. We've got 8 races there, the first at 1:37, and Albion Park as well. We'll find a couple of winners there, maybe from Ollie. And there's 8 races there, the first at 4:12.
Got a nice race at Central on Sunday, Michael. The Eastern Districts Cup.
Eastern Districts Cup, which is race number 5 on the program.
And we've got the Battle of Bunbury, which should be a good race on Saturday night at Bunbury. So
certainly is. All right, let's start at Bunbury. And we do have the Battle of Bunbury. It is race number 5. It's a 3-year-old listed race and some really nice horses, including Artful Major for the great and powerful Glen Mortimer, but some really good horses in that race as well. Menemsha returns to racing, which will be, it's good to see him back in the track. But a really good race is the Battle of Bunbury. But what have you got for us at Bunbury, Ollie?
That is a really fantastic race, the 5th race, the Battle of Bunbury. I haven't tipped into that race, but Memnesha, the trial was fantastic recently, and I think we could maybe get a decent price there from inside the back row. But the first one I'll find for us to kick us off is in race 2. I thought 5-star Kevin, going a little bit better than the numerical form suggests, has pretty good gate speed and draws the inside here. Showed that gate speed 2 runs ago at Northern when things just didn't really work out ideally. And then last start he got shuffled back from the inside back row draw and he got dragged right out of it there by a tiring horse in the end. And once he did get clear, he finished off reasonably well. So I think from the inside gate he can find a reasonably prominent position and potentially run a place for us at odds.
All right, that's race number 2. Have you got anything else at Bunbury?
In race 3, I've got a horse here which I think will go on to bigger and better things. Instigator showed a lot of promise as a 3-year-old when matching it with some of the better horses there. Then hasn't done a lot of racing since that, but still been able to win twice this year. Recent trial was good for this sort of race and presumably would have come on for that fitness-wise. So I think he'll be nearly ready to go for a race like this. I just don't see anything in this race which potentially as a class of instigator, I think Major Class might be the other one that's in the market, but unless it was to lead and get it really, really cheap, I'm not sure how it could beat Instigator, so I'm really keen Instigator there.
Out of the Jocelyn Young stable too.
In form.
Flying.
So, race 7.
She's another driver we could choose from.
Yeah.
That's why I thought I'd just bring it up, Ollie, just...
And, of course, you think that Menamshah is a good chance in the Battle of Bunbury, race 7. Yep. Number 8, Ryan Warwick takes the drive for Aidan De Campo. In there, is that all for Bunbury for us?
That's it.
The 2 tips. Then we head to Central Wheatbelt. On the Sunday, as I said, 8 races there, the first at 1:37. What do you got for us?
I'm kicking off in race 2 there as well, Regimental Star. This one sort of a bit of a speculative bet, I guess, has had a very long time off the scene, this horse. He placed in nearly every start in his career. Still a maiden. He's come back and trialled reasonably well, I thought. What I think was promising about that recent trial was that they went really, really slow overall time, but once the speed went on, Flying Copper moved up quite strongly outside of Regimental Star, and once Regimental Star saw that horse, it really kicked back quite strongly, and they got home in 28.6, and I just don't really think this is a very strong race, so I think despite the slightly awkward draw and the long layoff, Regimental Star looks right in it. Ginnivan, respect the horse and think it's a good chance, but has gone a bit roughly at times. So I think that gate 1 draw could be a bit of a trap and it could potentially go around under the odds.
That's actually the opening race, race number 1. Race number 1. Number 8, Regimental Star. What else you got for us?
Next one I got for us is in race 5, the Bodester. His 2 runs since joining the Cody Walrot stable have been really good. He fought them all off last start and then was just nabbed late by Fleur de Marquis, who flashed right over the top to beat them, having had a soft run throughout. I think Recover Lover is a pretty capable sit sprinter, so probably better off taking the sit in that sort of race and just having the last shot at them. She is racing really well, but I'm expecting it to take a trail in this race, and even if it was left without cover, the Bodester, I think it'd be really hard to beat controlling that race. And another plus is Emily Savalco, who's driving well at the moment, and she jumps on board the Bodester.
There must be another one for the Drivers' Challenge then. We just about covered the rest, half of WA. We may as well keep going, Ollie.
It's becoming a long list.
Yeah, no, Emily Savalco, we know she's a very good driver.
Good combination, Cody and Emily with the Bodester. 380 they've got on the harness site, which will be good price if we can get that. Race 5, number 2. Is that it for Killabarron?
That's it for Killabarron.
And then we moved to Albion Park Saturday night. Good race, 8-race card. Can't wait till February, Ollie. February, was it 21, 22? Ollie
it's going to be fantastic.
Ollie will be there.
Already be studying the form.
No, Michael's all over it. I just wonder how long he's going to make me go through this. We're going to go through this charade of
I won't know a horse.
Who's going to be the driver until... How long until you...
No, we'll be announced. I think October, I think we plan to announce.
No, another month, okay.
You can ask every week. It's okay.
No, I will.
What do you got for us at Albion Park?
So, first, we're going to go with a multi at Albion Park. I think there are a couple of horses on the card which should potentially just win and could make a good multi for us. The first one of those is in race 3. Danger Zone was able to lead and win 2 back over the middle trip, and then last start led in what became a pretty messy race. They just went way too hard early. They went 26 into a 28, and he ended up just beaten half a metre by Pacifica Dream, who's since won again. He's a band 4, and they've claimed back into this race a band 5 with the claim of Alana Richardson. So I think from the inside gate should be able to lead, and leading should prove really hard to catch in that company. I'd be surprised if Danger Zone led and got beaten. And then the second leg of our multi is a horse I've mentioned a few times in race 6, Chinchilla. Really smart mare, this one. I do think she is the best mare in Queensland. She battled on really strongly 2 back outside of Was a Heat Seeker in a quick mile raid, and then last start she got to the front and was just too good there. Her main rival is Artie B. Mickey, who draws a bit awkwardly there on the back row. So I think Chinchilla should be able to push onto the front and from there, it's hard to see how anything's able to beat her.
All right, and in that, Tab Touch have already got a market up. I think it's been well supported here, Chinchilla.
Yes, $1.36.
Into $1.36. I think they're much better than that. And RW Mickey is $2.35. So I actually bet $1.50 into $1.36 for Chinchilla. And I don't think there's a price up for Danger Zone as yet. Ollie, thanks for your time. As per usual, great to chat to you. Hopefully we found a few winners across the weekend, particularly Saturday night's going to be a great night into Sunday. So, mate, thanks for your time and we'll speak to you next week.
Thanks very much, guys.
Good on you. Ollie Cownie there, one of the gurus.
He is.
A guru.
He certainly is. Part of the Gloucester Park gurus trying to cloud the...
Good man, Ollie.
Yep.
He's a good man.
He is.
All right.
Been
a good show, Morts. Thanks for seeing you.
He's always very good with his time. He's very entertaining.
Tells you what he thinks.
Yeah. And
he doesn't shirk it.
Yeah, he certainly, like he says, if I ever back something, just stay away as far as...
My favourite comment is from Senior. My favourite quote of his is, I can't understand people who say they can't give up gambling. I've given it up 100 times. Which is a great...
Very true.
Gamble responsibly.
Correct.
Bray, have we got that to play? We'll play it at some stage. Gamble responsibly. The more you lose, something like that.
Yep.
Timmy Walker knows it.
Now, I think we've covered most things, Bray.
Yep.
Good show during the week. Robert Worrell goes all right, kicking the ball. Who's going to win the Waffle Flag this weekend?
East Perth against Peel. Is that right?
I don't think any of that decision was based on any fact. It's just from the heart, isn't it? Yep, thought so. That's okay. Hopefully it's a good game. It was a good final the other day. Peel were just too big and too strong. A bit like you, Michael, just too big and too strong. So that was very good.
Sunday at Optus Stadium, is it?
Yes, and of course, don't forget to listen in to Bray and Ethan, the Centre Square, on your favourite podcasts.
Is it changed the name, Centre Square?
Yep, love it.
Oh, that's the old name.
Oh, isn't it? Oh. Okay.
Yeah, it's good. No, I listen every week.
Yep,
very
beautiful.
good.
All right.
Very good.
Thanks to Senior, thanks to Bomber, thanks to Ollie. Good luck over the weekend, Morts. What do you got, Artful Mickey in the Battle of Bunbury?
Artful Major.
Major, sorry.
Driven by Gary Hall Jr.
Yeah. Who's that?
Oh, just some bloke that drives the odd winner in Perth.
Well, he jumped off painting the pallet, so I'm...
You've sacked him? Yeah. So, okay.
It's not going to help his cause, let me tell you.
I tell you what, that is a very good race, the Battle of Bunbury. $35,000.
Yep.
Very good
race. Yep. One of the traditional derby lead-ups.
And there is plenty of chances. Interesting Aidan DeCampo's
opted to drive, yep.
Ideal Muscle.
Yep.
With Menemsha on the back line there. I'm Lightning, but plenty of chances. Should be a really good race. Looking forward to it. Franco Encore for Ryan Bell. If it finds the front, boy, it can give a ton of cheek. Yep. So should be great.
Really good
down
race.
There at Bunbury on Saturday night.
Only runner for the weekend for you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, just the one. There's a few.
When does Never Ending get back? Do we know?
We're still there at the moment.
Okay.
Ideally on a flight next week.
Okay.
Ideally, but you know what it's like with flights. They say in a couple of weeks there is one, but until you get really close, you don't know. So I think, thinking back, I think next week was when it was meant to be.
Yeah. No doubt he's enjoying life at Peter and Cindy Rickson's.
Oh, Justin sent through some photos of the
just
property.
loving life.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Good, really nice.
Really good family, the Ricksons.
Well, that's what, Justin obviously spent a fair bit of time there and he was glowing in his praise for them. They just couldn't do enough for him, couldn't help out enough. It was
and
just
the great
really
horse
good.
Divisive.
Yes, won the Miracle Mile at $16.
God bless him. God bless him. I was on him that night.
I was there.
Ran second in a pacing cup here.
Yes, he did. He did. So, hopefully next week he'll be back. And
how about Rolling Fire?
Rolling Fire, he can't be too far away. He's working up with Mickey's Beach, who isn't far away from start. So.
There you go. Mighty Ronaldo's not too far away either.
I think he goes into the first one of the group races, the Group 2s.
Oh yeah, I think the first is the JP Stratton coming up. It's not too far away.
Yep. So hopefully, all going well, he'll be around.
Get
then,
a start.
So, yeah.
I mentioned that to Justin, and he wasn't real happy with me.
It's like playing a major martini replay, Michael.
He wasn't real happy. You and Justin might speak to me very shortly, which will probably be good for both of you. All right, Morts, thanks. Great to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you for looking after the ship while I was away.
Yeah, no, it was...
and Silky?
Yeah, Silky was great. Always comes in, just got to pick up the phone and ask him. He's here, and it was good. He's very knowledgeable.
He's very knowledgeable. And don't forget the Retrovision preview tomorrow morning on Tab Radio, 8 a.m, but you can listen on the podcast once it's been
Certainly
done.
can.
So if you miss it, go back during the day and listen to the podcast on tabradio.com.au. Mort, thanks for your time. Everyone, thanks for listening. Thanks to Bray for pushing all the buttons. As I said, thanks to Senior, Bomber and Ollie. Until next week, it's bye for now.
Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelpline.org.au.